Hello and welcome to another NihongoGamer video. It's been a little bit of a while since the last video that I made, but I've spent a long time thinking about where I want to go with this channel in the future. And I haven't got it 100% sorted out, but I have been thinking about it for a little while. And actually, just as I was about to start making videos again, I ended up getting a bit unwell last week and had to go to hospital and get some medicine. But apparently, according to the doctors, I'm going to be just fine. So videos will be back and the channel will be on form again soon. But in that time, while I was taking a couple weeks off and then also taking the past week just getting well again from being a little unwell, I was thinking about where I want to take the channel. Because unlike the channels that I watch on YouTube, this channel, NihongoGamer, is just all over the place. It's art, it's games. It used to be learning Japanese. For a little while, it was like playing Japanese games. And then there was yo-yos, there was bicycles, there was handheld consoles, there was PlayStation consoles, there was the Switch came out, and then the whole fighting game thing, which is basically a lot of the content that I'd been making for the past couple of years. But I never actually intended for the channel to be fighting games completely. I never wanted it to be an arcade stick channel or a fighting game channel. Although I enjoyed fighting games so much that I wanted to learn more about them and definitely make more fighting game videos. But when I really think about what the channel has been up until this point, I can't actually decide on one particular thing that I'd be happy to just focus on. And the reason I want to focus, not that it's necessary for a channel to focus on a single thing, but the channels that I watch, the channels that I keep going back to, the ones that I subscribe and I check every video that comes out, are the ones that are focused on one specific thing. Even if that person happens to be a streamer and they like other types of games as well, and they have plenty of other hobbies, I watch the channels. The channels that I keep going back to are the ones that are consistently putting out a certain kind of content. And although it'd be nice if I could make arcade stick videos all the time, there aren't arcade sticks being released all the time. Although I'd like to make fighting game video content, it's difficult because I'm actually not a master of fighting games. I enjoy playing them, but I'm absolutely aware that I'm still very low level, very beginner level when it comes to playing fighting games. And so I can't really make tutorials about it. Although, I mean, I could make tutorials about what I know, but then I'd always be like 50% unsure if I was telling people the right information. Maybe if I played for like 5 years more, I'd realize that what I was saying 5 years earlier like wasn't quite right, and I want to take it all back. And basically, it's difficult to want to go 100% in with fighting game content, knowing how deep it is and how I'm just not at an expert level on it yet. Making a video about hardware, that's different. I can tell you everything I know about buttons, whether it feels nice, and of course, maybe there are more expert people out there that know about arcade stick hardware, but I can still be honest with you about how it feels to play. Like, it's clear in the videos what my level is, because I usually show you a small example of what I can do with that controller, and you can gauge based on this person's general level, should I really believe what this person's opinion is on this controller? And if you don't believe it, then you don't have to watch. But that's where I'm at with fighting games, and basically every topic that has been on this channel. What it seems to boil down to is that I make videos on YouTube when I'm inspired by stuff that I like watching on YouTube. So before this channel even began, I was watching channels like Omni Omega OB, and I was watching Andertons, and I was enjoying stuff where people like reviewed guitars or reviewed PlayStation Vita consoles and reviewed Wacom tablets and art tablets. And every time I watched them, I was like, man, I would love to buy one of those tablets or buy one of those consoles. And then eventually I would buy them. And I thought, okay, now that I've bought them, maybe I'll make a video about it. And it was so much fun doing it, and so much fun getting the feedback from people and reading the comments. And it became its own channel, and people decided that this channel was able to offer its own thing and that they would watch my videos about unboxings as well, even though I had actually got into it because I enjoyed watching other people's unboxings and reviews about things. So when it came to drawing tablets, I had gone through a phase of wanting to buy my own drawing tablet, and I had watched all the reviews, and when I eventually bought one, I made a video. When it came to the PlayStation Vita, I watched loads of videos about PS Vita and a lot of stuff that was only in Japan at the time because it came out in Japan first. I bought my own PS Vita, I bought a PS Vita TV, and then I moved on to PlayStation 4, 3DS, there was the new 3DS, the 3DS XL, the new 3DS XL, there was the 2DS, Nintendo Switch, all of these things. I was just excited about the stuff that was coming out, and I wanted to buy those things. And as a result of buying them, it meant that I could also make a video, which is why this channel was so heavily focused on unboxings. But you can't create a channel about unboxing unless you've got like infinite amounts of money to just keep buying the stuff, or if you get sponsored by companies and they just send you stuff. And of course, with drawing tablets, with like computer equipment, with all sorts of things, I ended up getting like controllers as well from companies to show you as videos as part of collaborations, right? And slowly but surely, the channel began to inch its way forward in multiple separate directions. So we have the gaming side, we have the Japan side, we have the learning Japanese side, we have the art side. And even though they're all linked by similar things, they're all their own separate niches. And that's kind of how this channel has become, like the size that it's become. It's quite a large channel in my opinion, right? It's not one of the bigger channels. It's not in the over 1 million subscribers level, but it has a large subscriber. In my opinion, it has a fairly large subscriber base, but that's because it brings in people from large different areas. It seems that the channel is quite large, not because it's the big name in fighting games, or the big name in drawing tablets, or the big name in learning Japanese as a language. It's just I have content in all of those areas, and it brings in a few people from each place until the channel itself just naturally became the size that it's become now. And it should be quite easy, right? I've got all these options. I love art, I love games, I love Japan, I love fighting games, I love hardware, I love making stuff. I could just choose one of these things, right? And push forward with that. And for some reason, I just can't bring myself to do it. I think the most obvious one is with fighting games. Even if I wanted to make this channel all about fighting games, the truth is, it's just such a deep topic. And I probably won't be that good at them, even if I practiced pretty hard for the next like 5 years. I think it wouldn't be until maybe 3 or 4 years from now that I'd be like confident that I could go, okay, you know what? I could make a tutorial about this and be quite confident that the information is correct. The level the channel's at currently is more like I can buy a new game and I can talk to people who don't already play fighting games and maybe get them interested in trying out one of these new fighting games. Or people who don't use an arcade stick, I could probably make a video that would get people who don't play fighting games at all to consider buying a fighting game and buying a controller and getting into the whole hardware, software aspect of it all, and the mental game and the tournament aspect of it as well. Like if there's any theme that runs through all of the content in this channel, it's just being a newcomer to lots of things. And I know there are great channels out there where people just try new things all the time. But I don't know if that's what I actually want to do, is just constantly try random new things for the sake of making videos for the channel. I only try new stuff because it so happens that I'm passionate about new things that I'm happening or new things that I'm seeing. And usually it's because YouTube has suggested some video to me and it's just like, hey, did you know about retro gaming? And then I start looking up all the hardware in retro gaming. Then I'm interested in buying my own retro hardware. You know, I wouldn't have bought one of these. This is an OSSC. This is a special device just for getting old consoles that are not HDMI into HDMI monitors and TVs so that you can game capture or play on a modern style TV with low latency. And that brings me to the reason why I haven't really figured out what I want to do next. Maybe it's because 2020 has been a bit of a slow year. Maybe it's because it's been a difficult year or a dramatic year. But as a result of what's going on with video making in general, I just don't seem to be watching anything that's getting me really excited. Nothing that really makes me go, hey, I'd like to make a video about that too. Hey, I'd like to learn how to do that too. Hey, I'd like to buy one of those things too. So I can't think of a phone that I really want. I can't think of a console. I mean, the PS5 is going to come out. I suppose I could do coverage on the PS5, but at the same time, I'm not super excited about any of the titles that I've seen. I'm sure, like, the titles that have been shown, I'm sure there are plenty of people who are very excited about them. But from what I've seen so far, it's just, okay, there's a new console coming out and it's going to massively change game design because of the super fast SSD in it, but we haven't got it yet. And I'm not, for whatever reason, I'm just not that excited about covering it yet. Maybe when it comes out, I'll be excited about it. But especially in 2018, it was different. Like 2018, I think we got like 6 fighting games at the same time. A bunch of new controllers released at the same time. Plenty of graphics tablets were coming out back then. Loads of advances were being made in all sorts of directions. But 2020, especially, has been so... what's the word? It's been such a slog. I think the word is slog, like you're pushing through the sludge to get through it, that because I'm not inspired by new things that I want to buy, I'm not inspired by new things that I want to try, I'm not inspired by new things that I want to learn about, I'm not sure where I want to go with the channel next, because on the natural progression of the channel, it should be that I try something new for like 3 or 4 months and then I move on to the next thing. So actually, fighting games, I think I expected to get back into Street Fighter, learn how to play them a bit more, and then move on to another thing, like another type of console or another type of hobby or another type of creative aspect of things, or maybe get back into drawing. But what actually happened is I got into fighting games and then I ended up in hospital and having like brain surgery. Again, it's a story I haven't really talked about properly, but one day I will tell the whole story and I will talk about it properly, I think. But when I was in hospital recovering from brain surgery, I spent a lot of my time drawing, and I really enjoyed drawing. And I also actually played a few fighting games. I had one of that little GPD mini laptop, and I was playing like Blaze Blue and Street Fighter 4, like in my hospital room. I was there for like a month. And then when I got out, it was like, I was so energized. I was ready to draw more, and I drew arcade stick art, and I bought loads of arcade sticks, and I really got into fighting games. And from 2018 to 2020, I spent a long time playing fighting games. It really got me energized for making videos, and it was a new world for me. But that phase, instead of lasting 4 months, it lasted like 2 years, 2.5 years, really. And now that I feel like I have a better understanding of how much effort it requires to get good at fighting games, I know that it's not just going to be give it another few months and then maybe I can start making more content like tutorials or in-depth guides about things. I know that it's still probably years away before I can start making really in-depth content like that. But the other thing is that I don't even know, even if I were really good at fighting games, I don't know if I'd want to make a channel that's all about fighting games. I just find that fighting games can really get, it's like this, it's so dense, there's so much going on, and it's not that there's so much going on, it's just that every time you figure one thing out, there's always a counter argument. And that's the beauty of fighting games. Every time you find the answer to something, there's like the counter answer, and then you have to find the counter to the counter, and then they have to find the counter to the counter to the counter. And because there is actually really no end to this mind game, that's what is really exciting about fighting games. But as you can see, it's not a simple topic, and it's not one that you can just like learn it for 3 months and then become an expert and make video game videos about them. If it's just newcomer content like, hey, welcome to fighting games and here's some very low level stuff and let's just talk about it in very general terms, I can do that. But the in-depth guide stuff, I think we're still a little ways away from that stage. So there's games, there's fighting games, there's hardware, there's creative stuff, there's music, there's drawing, there's Japanese, there's learning Japanese, the language, there's Japan, the country. There's so many places I could go with this, but do I want to do them completely just that? Or do I want to just move on to something completely new? And then if I move on to something completely new, is that just like this endless thing where I'm just constantly making videos about something new, something new, something new? And what is the point of it? Where am I going with it? I haven't got the answer yet, and hopefully I'll come to an answer soon. But I really want to ask you, like, what is your opinion of the channel? And more importantly, what is the content that you would like to see in every video? So for example, there are channels that focus on purely PC hardware. You know that every single video that comes out, they're going to talk about some piece of PC hardware. Maybe it's old hardware, maybe it's new hardware, but it's stuff that you're interested in. Or are you mostly interested in the fighting game content? Maybe you're only interested in seeing gameplay. You don't need all this unboxing stuff. You don't need coffee. You don't need chat. You just want to see more like games. Or do you like the videos where I covered hardware about drawing tablets and learning how to draw and discovering new art styles and new ways to draw? Then there's vlogging. I mean, I don't really want to go back into complete vlogging, certainly not frequently. I think I like the idea of making travel videos every now and then, but I don't want to be like, here's where I am today, here's where I am today, here's where I am today. And it's just like this addiction. It's just like, you just gotta know, where's NihongoGamer today? And it's just, I don't want to be this addiction, like you just want to know what happens next because you're hooked. And that's because I find like vlogs just encourage you to just come back over and over and over again. Even if you don't really even like that person, it's just you need to know what happens next and you're completely addicted. I don't really want to get back into vlogging, but I do like the idea of making travel videos. I think it's unlikely that I'll get back into making travel videos in 2020 though, because going outside, no thank you. Though if you do go outside, please wear a mask. And I haven't even spoken about streaming. I mean, streaming is a big part of why it's also become a question, like what do I want to do with my video content? Because streaming can be really, really intimate. People can come in, they can ask me something, I can answer them, and then we can have a back and forth and a discussion, and that's a type of interaction that just doesn't happen with video content. So I'm constantly thinking like, what do I want to do with my video content? And that's where you come in. I need to know what it is that you've liked the most about the channel, what you want to see the most from this channel every time you click on a video. And actually, if you could as well, let me know, what channels do you like the most? You know, the ones that are really focused on this specific thing and that specific thing. What is it you like the most about those videos? Is it because it's got that person in it, because they always make jokes about that content? Or is it because they're very serious and they always deliver all the news and all the tech specs and all the stuff that you need to know? I would like to take your feedback and pump it straight back into the channel, to be quite honest. I want to know what it is you've liked so far, and let's build a more focused channel around that stuff that you find interesting, or that stuff that you find helpful. I want to know what it is you've liked so far, and let's make more of it. Anyway, that's all for today's video. It's very easy for me to just give up on making a video because I'm like, oh, I have to clean up this part of the house, or I haven't got the camera quite set up in the right place, or the lights aren't in the right place and I have to go and move this and move that. But I think I've got the studio in a better place where it's easier to make videos like the moment that I need to do it. I've actually set up 2 different camera angles as well. So like when I've got more specific stuff to show and tell, I've got a setup over there. But when I've got these like talk videos, it's easy to just use the streaming setup, because this is actually the setup that I use for streaming. So I can do talk videos. It also feels a little more intimate using it like this. But again, I really want to know what you think about, you know, the channel, what you've enjoyed so far, what you like about your favorite channels. And what, you know, this is probably the first time I've asked for input regarding what to do with the YouTube channel. Because again, at the end of the day, I will still prioritize what I want to do. I think it's too obvious when a person is like doing a channel, but they're not doing it for the reason that they want to do it. They're doing it just because people think they're good at it, or they just keep demanding stuff from that person, and they're giving it to them because the people want it. Like, it will have to be a balance between what everyone wants and what I want to do. But I think this might be the first time I've actually made a video asking, like, specifically, like, what is it you want to see on this channel? I'd love to find out specifically, directly from you. Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next NihongoGamer video, whenever that happens. I have got still some videos that I need to finish. I got some equipment sent to me by Brook Gaming, so I do need to make some videos about that. Those will be going up as soon as I can possibly make them. But yeah, I'd love to. I'm really excited, and I'm partially like tentative, but I'm also kind of like, wow, this is exciting. The channel's finally going to become a channel, because until this point it's just been this sort of vlog channel where I don't actually go anywhere, but I still vlog. It's like a vlog from home channel, and I've always been a little bit confused about where it sits in terms of channels. But more than anything else, it's just, it doesn't feel like the channels that I like to watch, and the channels that I like to watch are dependable for a specific kind of content. I know that when this game gets an update, I know that this person will be talking about it. I know that I can click on their channel and there will be a video about it, and I love that aspect about it. And I just, I'm excited about thinking, I'm excited when I think about where the channel will go in the future. See you all in the next NihongoGamer video.